Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Full Quota podcast. My name is Mpho and Tim. I've got Tim here with me. Tim, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing very, very well. All good.
Yeah, there's a lot of rain up here, so we're not getting a lot of cricket. So that's the only problem.
I have that.
Yeah, but at least all the cricket matches are coming to your side of the world, so at least we'll get something. But this is an interesting show, and I'm so excited about it. But before we do anything, please do follow us at the Full Quota Pod on X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. That's what we normally do. You'll find us every Monday. If not, Mondays and an additional episode during the week. And then on Apple Podcast and Spotify, we're growing there. We've got about 65 people, which I'm excited about. And then also, finally, please do help us buy some coffee if you feel like supporting our cause and pushing us forward a little bit more. There's a lot of cricket happening this year, and the show is dedicated to that whole lot of cricket. And it'll be great to just have some support and to keep going. So, the Under-19 Women's Cricket World Cup is set to start in Malaysia, I think today. Or tomorrow. But our Pro-Tier ladies, I say Under-19 Pro-Tier ladies, are in Malaysia, ready to go, and they're about to start their tournament tomorrow in Malaysia. And so we thought it'd be a great chance for us to profile some of the players, talk about the tournament, talk about the team and the preparations. Remember last time they narrowly missed out on the semi-finals because of some weird tournament structure, and Dinesha will talk about that again because I don't think that's changed. And so that's what we're gonna be talking about. And then we've gotten probably the person who always says this when we ask her to come through, Dinesha Devnarain, the coach of the Under-19s, to have a chat with us and try and give us a sense of what to expect. And so when we win, we're not surprised. We're like, okay, no, we know so and so. She told us about this, and that's why we have these shows. So that's awesome. Let's get Dinesha on, Tim, and let's get it going. Hi, Coach. How are you doing?
Hi, Tim. Hi, Mpho. Lovely. Always great chatting to you guys. So really looking forward to this chat. And yeah, as for me and the team, I think we're in a good space. Malaysia is a beautiful city, but yeah, we're looking forward to play some beautiful cricket as well.
That's good. And you have been playing beautiful cricket. We've been watching that India A, India B, South Africa series, which scared me a little bit because I was like, what? India have an A and a B side? And they didn't ask us to send a B side.
Yeah, no, I think India might have teams up until Z. So, yeah.
Cool, Coach. Look, the team arrived this week in Malaysia. We saw all the social media posts. How is everyone in the camp? We also saw the pre-tournament, pictures and videos and all of that. For teenagers, that must be the best thing in the world, surely.
No, it's massive. I think they actually look forward most to that day. I mean, they always talk about content, so they got a lot of content that day. But yeah, look, the girls are excited. They're really excited, but there's definitely a lot of nerves that's going around the camp, and I think that's rightly so. You don't get to experience or be part of a World Cup, and World Cup pressure is not something that you could teach. So there's definitely a lot of nerves. I think they're really excited. I think all of this it has to go testament maybe to the 18 months of prep we had. So it leaves less discussion of what we need to do rather than how do we present ourselves and rise up to the occasion, and making sure that we're staying in the moment. So good vibes so far, but yeah, I think closer to tomorrow the nerves will be just a touch higher.
I think so. give us a flavor of that preparation. We did do a previous chat where we went into more detail, but just give us a flavor of that preparation going from that last World Cup where you know the conditions to this World Cup where you really, on the surface, really do not know the conditions. How challenging has that been, and how different has it had to be in terms of preparation?
Yeah, look, so obviously our 18 months of trip, yes, we had the opportunity to tour a subcontinent, which was great. We had an island series at home, and I think we had about maybe 13 to 15 camps, only one in KZN, the rest up Highveld. So um, we had to identify the areas based on information from what Malaysia will be asking. So from an analysis point of view, in terms of understanding what the conditions are, we weren't far off. So what we've decided to do in that 18 months of prep is sort of played on unprepared wickets. I think that helped us a lot. And then just identifying certain skill areas which we thought would be very crucial coming into Malaysia. So just like from a batting perspective, your conventional sweeps, your slog sweeps, your laps, reverse sweeps, I think that's come on nicely. There's definitely growth in that aspect. And yeah, just from a bowling front is like, how do we learn to take wickets on slower wickets, as well as how do we contain? So, look, we had a warm-up game against India, and it's the only one we played due to a delayed flight, which we missed our first warm-up game. So the trick there was let's play the way we've been practicing, and it sort of came. It came the way we wanted. So the result we weren't too concerned about the result. It was about playing the whole 15, making sure that when we select the playing 11, it's based for what the team needs. And it sort of got right. I think the second warm-up game, if we played the first one, actually, I think that would have helped even more. But, having said that, I think I know that we're in a better position to play the conditions based here in Malaysia because of the chats we had in the dressing room. So there would be times where we talk about scores of 180, 200, 160. And we talk about, if we in South Africa, usually let's take out 40 of those runs and where can we buy another 20? And a big one for us was obviously running between the wickets. I mean, these outfields are pretty slow. And the game against India, the warm-up game, I mean, we scored we didn't finish our allotted overs due to rain, but we were going at 7s and over, and we had 6 batters still to go. So, it's definitely a good start. I think the one thing that we can probably be better is how do we be better in the power play? I think we leave it for too late. So maybe that's just a chat or an observation we'll take, going through in this World Cup.
Yeah, no, that's also quite interesting. Obviously, the weather plays a massive role on that side of the world, and it's also quite humid. So, the only thing I'd say is we obviously would have loved for you to have a second game, but that's not it. But when you look at under 19 tournaments like this, and even across the men's side, teams that do well are teams that had team players who have come back, who've experienced this again, or who have gone and played at the higher levels or at a domestic level, right? And so when you look at this team of ours, you've got a couple of girls who've been capped at a Proteas level, a couple of girls who are mainstays of their domestic sides and are regular contributors in the domestic setup. And then obviously you have those that are obviously making their way in with a lot of the talent. And I look at this team and I look at the team previously, right? Back then and 2 years ago, we didn't have a lot of the girls playing in domestic cricket. It was like a handful. Now it's a majority of the team. And how do you get the girls to, understand that this is also, you may have been at the higher levels, but this also is still the pinnacle of your sport at this age?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I've spoken so highly of the 2023 group, and I probably will do the same for 2025. But I think now, having sort of 2 years or going to 2 World Cups, the experience that I've learned or the knowledge that I've gained is they're just a different breed of cricketers. And they think differently. They're so liberal, they're so open to conversations and feedback. They want feedback that's not soft. It's not like ice cream feedback. They want feedback that's going to actually help them. So, it's no surprise that majority of the team, if I'm not mistaken, I think every single player here, maybe barring one player, plays regularly for the provincial teams and they major stakeholders. But what the one thing that I didn't have to address with this group is understanding like you say, the pinnacle of this moment in your careers, in your lives. It's something that they just took on board. They actually see like playing professional women domestic cricket is sort of a step down, and they said like this is something we're never going to get back. So that's the great part about it, is that it wasn't something that I had to inculcate in the girls or talk about the moment of this and what it means. There's every time we talk about being in a World Cup, there's lots of goosebumps, chicken skin around the room, and they know what it's about. I don't want to go into too much of detail, but it's gotten taken so seriously that they sacrifice things that I never thought they would. So I think that's all I can say in terms of that. But it's they want it so bad. They want to be part of this environment so bad so that they can win a World Cup for their country, and they want to be the person to do it. So it's definitely inspiring from their sides to know that the want is there. But just in general, holistically, under 19 cricket is a different level of cricket. You get just based on the warm-up games, the level of cricket it's increasing so hectic now. And I mean, it's good for the game holistically, globally, it's great. And just for 2023, I think it was every single player has gotten a professional contract domestically. And that talks about such massive value and investment in the youth space, that this is the new face of cricket now. So yeah, it'll be interesting because now we have under 19 World Cups every 2 years. So there's always going to be talent emerging. I just see it as a positive in the sense that the state of cricket in the country can only go upwards and onwards from there.
Absolutely. That actually ties beautifully with my next question. Was I would love it if the men picked 1 or 2 Division 2 players to give them an impression that you're not lost, you can be picked, you can play for the national side. What I love about the women's game, and particularly with this squad that you've picked, is you've got 2 players that are currently playing in the Division 2 of the Women's Professional League. And that's happened holistically. That's not been forced. And nobody said anything. Nobody said, oh, but she's playing in Division 2. She's not ready. She's not good enough. Whereas that would be the talk in a lot of circles in the men's game. How important is that, in that you've now got a wider pool of players to pick from? You're not picking from the one division, so to speak. And then the message it sends to those players in that division that there is a spot for you if you perform.
Yeah, no, it's imperative. It's massive. And I've always been a firm believer that, regardless of my opinion, I'm not the stakeholders making the decisions in terms of how the league should be structured. But I've been a firm believer in, if you want to represent South Africa on a global stage, you've got to represent South Africa, which includes 16 provinces in my eyes. So when we did the scouting of the groups, we made sure, so it was myself, the selectors, and an SNC that went around the whole country, not missing a beat. We had to make sure that we are, when that team plays and everyone gets to be part of that team, it's a representation of South Africa and not necessarily a Division 1 player or a certain province. It was based on you can do it. And I think that's imperative, because it sends it. I think it ties in with the second question. It sends a message to the whole country that regardless of where you play in your cricket, how you play in your cricket, regardless of what the results of the team might be, if you sort of work hard, you put your performances in, it's not that you won't get noticed. And based on that, it's actually not even 2 girls, it's 4 girls that plays in Division 2. And they're key players for the squad. And And that's the thing about the squad. We never hear, I'm from a certain province and this is what we do and stuff. It's just like they get here and they represent South Africa, and it's about how do we get the best out of player X, because player X hasn't been herself in a week or two. What can we do better? And I think that's like a beautiful place to be. And that's a short term. I mean, long term, you look at the players that is playing Division 2, and it's sort of kind of difficult. You get a 2-year cycle to make Division 1, and then you're competing with, I think it's 10 teams for one spot in Division 1. What that does, it gives opportunity for them to grow and be looked at Division 1 teams. And I keep speaking about it entirely. The state of cricket will keep getting better. So yeah, I suppose that's just my views on it.
No, that's
Perfect.
That's great, and I think it's fair. I think Tim and I have the same sentiments. I think it's really good to see players from different provinces around the country, right? Places where you wouldn't necessarily say they're in Division 1 or in Division 1. So it really is good, and it shows the extent to which you are looking for talent, because it is what it is. And then so I think for me, looking at your senior players, the players who are coming back, who are key, Garabo, Kayla, Gemma, Simone, who had a great tournament last time. Is there? I know there's a little bit of pressure, right? But is there a certain level from them that you're like, guys, this is that I'm going to hold you accountable for a lot more? You said we don't do ice cream feedback, right? Are they? Yeah, is that the idea for this? Is that some of you guys have been here before, some of you, those who have been here before, need to lead us, and then the rest who are here for the first time, wide eyes, can come through and play all around you.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was the first meeting after the squad was selected, is get those 7 in. First question, why do you think you're here? Everyone got it spot on. We've been here before, coach. We know the culture. We know the brand of cricket. We know what's expected. And then I just threw back another question. How do you think the other 8 are feeling? And, from there, it got straight into it. Okay. So they actually like gave themselves leads. So if you look at a Mona Lisa, she's in charge of seam bowling lead, and she takes on these youngsters with her. Yeah. If you look at batting, Jim Abota takes the batting lead. Seshni Naidu takes the spinning lead. Rabo Meso's in charge of wicket keeping and fielding, along with Simone. So it's good. Yeah. So it's lovely. I mean, to see that they understand what it is, and there's no two ways about it. You've got World Cup experience in your heart and in your head. You've got to use it. By you not using it makes you sort of you're not adding value apart from your skill in the team, because we speak a lot about that. You're not going to score hundreds and take fivers every day. So how else can you add value in the team? So those 7 have been great. I think I could be mistaken, but I think they've got a separate WhatsApp group just in terms of team morale, checking up on players, making sure A, B, or C is done. But what I love about it is that if you see the 7 with the whole group, you'll never see more than 2 of them together. It's always with the youngsters. It's always with someone coming new. And I mean, you take something as small as a rooming list, you'll find it very difficult to find 2 returning players rooming together, which I thought was fascinating, to be honest, because, when we get to our rooms, it's a comfort zone, that sort of stuff. But they never at once made the newcomers in the team feel as though they're newcomers. In terms of the feedback we give, it's always about, I need to do well for the team to do well, and that's just rubbed off through the whole team dynamics. And I think they hold themselves accountable as a group, and that's really good. So as a technical staff, we can focus on what we need to. So yeah, I think they know they know the mandate. They know how important that they are, whether they're in the playing 11 or off the bench. It's just, how do I add value, because I've been here before.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's really insane.
We've heard several other teams at different levels have cliques, have people that's always stick together, and it creates I won't say unpleasant, but it creates an atmosphere where the team doesn't reach its levels. How do you talk about that atmosphere at the moment? How did you create that? Because you've got to start from zero to where you are now, where everybody's in it with each other, and you've just described it there in your last question. How did you create that?
Oh, Tim, I'll be giving away my trade secrets now. I'm not going to be wanted in the coaching market. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, based on the answer that I gave just a few seconds ago, there is still tricks, and it's something you're never going to change. But I think that's what's different about this group or the coaching environment that we've settled here, is that there's time where it's a unit task, and there's time where it's okay, the two of you go and get ice cream because you just feel more comfortable. It's not forced. So I think from the get-go, when I started with this group, I've been a firm believer in the sense is that it's got to come from the players. It's not something I will say, this is what we're doing, this is how we go, A, B, and C. No. So it's sort of, I enjoy the idea of player-led environments. Entirely, they're the ones that play cricket for you. They're the ones that win the World Cup for you. You just guide them through that process. So very much, I think the first couple of months is probably suss out them. So a few of them call me crazy because I sort of have like player profiles on them, and it has nothing to do with skill, just about behaviors, how they wake up certain mornings, body language on certain training days, and and the message keeps coming like how do you know, like how do you observe like that there. And so what I did is I compiled just all of that information together and sort of said, like, this is what the team is without coach intervention, without the culture document saying you need to do this, you need to do that. This is just sort of the identity of the team. Then I sort of had to like figure out what do I want to see in the team? Like, what should it look like? So that's where the technical staff helps a lot. And, they get in and they give their views and stuff. So there's a few things that we just play out and hopefully that it works out on its own. But then there's a few times where it might not be every day, but we might pair in tandem that we feel like in the spinners group, these two might not talk as often. They're not ugly to each other, but they might not talk often. And we want players to communicate intentionally, not just how did you sleep, that sort of stuff. And then there might be a team activity game where those two have paired up. And it's crazy, like the instant results that you see. So, yeah, I suppose that's the beauty of it. I mean, that's the good part. But the downside is then they get too personal in each other's lives. They know too much. And that can also cause a little bit of friction. But I think, with that 7 that's returned, that's been here before, I think they lead in those sort of culture that's strong. Sort of like if I have an issue with player X, go to player X. And if you can't solve it out, then go to coach. But usually, more often than not, let's sort out whatever's bothering us and let's move on.
Yeah. Coach, how's the scouting been? Age group tournaments are very weird because sometimes you just arrive and there's always some child you haven't accounted for. But have you, obviously with the way this tournament is set up, top 3 go into the Super Sixes, and then you have that weird tournament style that we both don't like. Have you started scouting potential Super Six opponents, or did you just scout like some of the big teams that always have a great pool of talent, and then obviously the teams that we're going to play, Samoa, Nigeria, and New Zealand? How do you plan for a tournament like this where it doesn't shrink, it gets bigger in the middle stages?
Yeah, it's a lovely question. Let me put it that way, because there's so many X factors to it, isn't it? So we have tried the routes. I mean, we've tried every possible route, and this obviously is just for the technical staff. Finished 1, finished 2, finished 3. What's the chances? And the summary for us is pretty simple. We want to finish top of the group. Top of the group takes you a better advantage leading into the Super Six stages because of you take your net run rate with you. It doesn't stay in the group stages, and like we said, that obviously hurt us in the 2023 World Cup. But so the idea is then let's get into top of the group more often than not based on what we see on paper. You would play someone like a Pakistan or USA, and then we get to a semi-final and we'll take it from there. So that's more the technical team sort of chats. But in terms of the players and what they're driven by is that we've got to be present. We in Malaysia. We always talk about the date, the time, where we seated at, which hotel we're at. Right now, we can only think about New Zealand. And once we're done there, then we can think about Samoa, and then we can think about Nigeria. But at the moment, we're not even talking semi-finals or finals. We know that that's the dream. That's where we're headed. But for us to get there, we can't skip the small steps in between. So right now, the focus is just like, I don't know when last I heard about Samoa and Nigeria, apart from when we said these are the teams in our group. So that's excellent to see. From a technical team, we've got to just be a little bit more proactive. So we do want to stay present. But yeah, anything can happen. But it is very difficult. If you finish second and third, it's very difficult to get a semi-final spot. You've got to wait for one or two upsets, and we don't want to leave it in other teams' hands. We want to be in control of our destiny. So tomorrow becomes a pivotal match for us. And we want to start that tournament well. We want to start with the win and end the group stages with 3 Ws. So that puts us in a better position to play against the teams that finish second and third in respective pools.
Yeah, that gives us a nice, as you say, an understanding of how it all works. Give us a flavor. I know you don't like talking about individuals. You are very important that it's a team ethic, everybody together, and I get that. And I. But give us a flavor of those new faces in the squad. Give us a flavor of who they are, what we can expect from them. Because
just profiles. You don't have to tell us that they need to score runs. Just be like, all rounder. I like this.
Cool. I think most of the time I don't do it because they always listen in on me and they keep saying, "Oh, but you never mentioned my name." I say it was really never intentional. But yeah, look, no, just a flavor in general. I think with the newcomers, it's like a little bit of Mexican with Indian, and then you get blandness. Like it's crazy, but it's beautiful at the same time. They spark or they want to play cricket is it's outstanding. And the fact that I said this before, the fact that they come in, the 7 returning players, you sort of like go under the table and say, I'll just observe. And then you get a 14-year-old like Mika van Voors from Eastern. She leads conversations. Like, what a brain, like what a cricket brain at 14 years old. Faye Cowlin from Lions is a serious cricketer.
Dinesha, let me stop you there. I'll talk about Faye. I can't believe she's that young and she can bowl just like she was bowling in tandem with Shubnam, and I sat there going, in this spell alone, we know how great Shubnam is. Faye is unbelievable. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I mean, then we got someone like a Chanel Finter, Titans. Actually wasn't even identified at the first 6 months. We actually saw, I think there was a T20 league or something going on, and it was a Facebook page post that actually came up with the featured video, like a sponsored video. And this girl was like hitting balls of length, like through the boundary rope. Find out the kid is 15 at the time. Brought it to a couple of camps, shined, like reached benchmarks for girls that was in the system for longer. Deserve the call up. Just pure flair that these girls have. We're so blinded. We're probably so blinded by the greatness of Karabo Meso. She's so good that our second keeper here, who is absolutely fantastic, gets shadowed by that. But if you had to play Jaylee Philander in that game, you'll be thinking, who's this girl? Where did she come from? When did she come from another country to South Africa? So the members in the bank are really adding value. The only thing that they would lack is a World Cup experience. I mean, I've seen the newcomers drive culture in the team when the ones that's been here before has defaulted. And that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. So they're a fun group of girls. They're really hard on themselves. I'll be honest with you. They really want to do well. And it's so difficult telling them that no human is perfect. You're not going to get it right all the time, but they just want to do what's best for the team. I mean, I wish I could share a feed one day of a team room meeting, and it's always about the team. And it's just, if I don't perform, I've let the team down, but how can I add value elsewhere then?
Wow, that's all we wanted. Just so we're not surprised when players are doing things, and we're like, no, but Dinesha told us this is it. I think for me the last one is, coach, the brand of cricket. You are big on that, and you are. What should we expect tomorrow? Is it smart, aggressive, a brand of cricket tomorrow and throughout the tournament?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think we talk of that a lot. Like when we talk about attacking aggressive, it's different perspectives to everyone. So everyone might have an opinion from it. But when we talk aggressive, we're talking about throwing the first punch. We don't want to be a team that's reactive. We don't want to have a look first. We want to be proactive in the sense that these are our areas. This is what we're looking to do. There's strategic timeouts. There's the interval between the two innings. We have time to adapt. So we talk about being adapting. We love to be that team that scores 180, and it's not been spoken about at the under 19 level. But we also got to be smart about it. If the conditions are saying A, B, and C, can we adjust to what the conditions need? So if anything, it's still the brand of cricket that we play based back home in South Africa, but that's not condition based. That's where the smartness comes in. So how can we be smart, conditions based on what we want to achieve with the brand of cricket? And so far, I think the girls there'll always be areas to improve, but it's definitely headed in the right direction.
Fantastic. Last one for me. How important is it to have your coaching setup that it has international experience? How important is that, so you don't have to do absolutely everything? You've got your seasoned former professionals to put that experience onto the players and explain to them what needs to be done.
Massive.
And so on.
It's massive. I mean, to have ex-Protea women that played all over the world with that amount of experience, it is unbelievable. And it's rightly so, like you said, in my job, I think I had a lot less to do this World Cup, and it's based on that there. It's about also, I'm very big on, yes, we've got to empower and develop leaders at a young age, but it happens in a leadership, a technical team as well. And they've been brilliant. So I sort of said, this is what I want it to look like. This is our goal. Fielding with Trish, you go fielding wicket keeping. That's your baby. You come to a stumble block. We all sit down as leadership every second day. Where can we be better? What input maybe the batting coach might have for the bowling coach, or that sort of stuff. So there's definitely no egos around here. I think it's a very intertwined technical team, and they really work well together. I think it's the first time I have a leadership team that's probably as big as the players. Like, I've always wanted that, so I've sort of like reached my goal.
Yeah, you're taking an army, but also we gotta say thank you to CSA for supporting you, because I think
definitely. I think
over the last 2 years, it's we can see that it's exponential, like to the point where we had an away youth ODI series where we were going somewhere, and the girls learned so much. They played that first game when you played, I think it was India A, and Faye ran rings around them, but it was unbelievable to see the improvement and the level. I was like, okay, so there's a chance.
Yeah, and definitely. Yeah. It's definitely an investment, and you rightly so. It's the backing of Cricket South Africa and the direction that they lead women's cricket. For many times people have come and go, and they always talk about putting women's cricket on the map, but it's genuinely going there. And it is credit to Cricket South Africa in terms of the backing of the program that I wanted. I got it. And like you said, for the first time ever, under 19 team left the shores just to go and play a youth series. Well, it's unbelievable. So yeah, I think back to obviously Tim's, just in terms of having someone like Marsha, Trisha, Angelique just around this year. Let's leave alone what they bring as a coach. Can you imagine the mentorship that these girls are just gripping on every? So in fact, it's not me looking after the whole technical team and girl. Everyone just spreads out to where they feel comfortable and have a chat, and that works out beautifully. So it's massive, and when we go win this World Cup, a big contribute of success will be the leadership, the technical team, and how they are using the experience to benefit the state of cricket in the country.
Yeah, and
Fantastic.
yeah, it's exciting. Yeah, Coach Dinesha, we didn't want to bother you throughout the tournament. We'll talk to you when you have the trophy. Because
Yeah,
we want
next
to see
year.
that. Yes. But I wish you all the best. It's going to be a fantastic 3 weeks for you guys, and I can't wait for the world to see what you've been working on, what we've been seeing here, and yeah, look, because the way I look at it, it's a stepping stone to greater things, even for the Protea women's team, because I look at this group and I say 5-10 years later, we could win a World Cup outrightly, and the core of that senior team will be coming out of this side, because we've watched all these girls grow. Mona Lisa Lachodi was playing domestic at 12. It was unbelievable. And a lot of these stories throughout this team, and there are cricketers, out and out cricketers, and we're just excited. I'm just excited because Coach D, I just love South Africa winning. So if you can get us that win, oh yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, good luck to you
Get
and the
win,
girls.
yeah.
Yeah, but good luck to you
Yeah,
and the girls. Yeah, and hopefully the rain will stop tomorrow, because we don't want drama.
no, we don't.
No, like I'm excited for the world to see what we have. I think we've got
Yeah,
fantastic cricketers across the board, incredible batters, unbelievable all-rounders. Probably got the best wicketkeeper in the world.
yeah.
Across all age groups, even at senior level, I'd put money on that. And our bowling attack is going to cause them problems. So yeah, good luck, and send our regards to the girls, and we'll be watching and we'll be supporting, and hopefully we could come out with something.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's always good. It's always real. 3 weeks, and we'll know.
Yeah. Yes. But
All right.
it's New
Good
Zealand
luck.
tomorrow. Give them hell.
Yeah, no, not leaving anything out that field.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Coach Dinesha. Good luck. Bye.
Yeah,
Thanks,
cheers, guys.
Dinesha. Cheers.
So, how do you feel, Tim?
I always feel happy when I've spoken to Dinesha. I always feel confident about the women's game. I always feel that way. And to be fair to her, the fruits of that have actually been seen. We've seen success. We were really good in the last T20 World Cup. We were just short, but we played some really good cricket. I think it's a very, very strong squad. It has the potential to go all the way. Definitely.
Yeah. Look, I'm excited, and I think there'll be some players there that a lot of our fans, you everyone included, who will be sitting there going, no, there's definitely a path to world stardom. If we look at what our issues are with the current senior team, some of those issues can be solved with some of the bowlers. Oh yes, I have an issue with the bowling, seam bowling, but Mona Lisa Lachodi, Diara Ramlakan, if she can bowl, she's a great batter, but if she can bowl too, in this tournament, you'll see something else. And obviously Faye, I think Faye is a cut above the rest, and I think it sets us up. But Gemma, Simone are still very good, and we've got so many others. And the great thing about this tournament is you're going to discover even more. And I'm excited for the Nigeria game, because I'm like, yeah, this is what it should be. Two African teams playing each other. But yeah, Coach Dinesha, she looks prepared. She looks ready. The one thing I liked was the brand of cricket is the same that Enoch articulated for the men's team or for the women's team, right? Be strong up front, land the first punch, don't sit and wait and look, be in control of the areas that you're good at, and try run away from some of those that aren't great, and be vigilant of that. And I think for me, that's gonna bode well. I'm excited to see running between the wickets, dot ball avoiding, that type of thing, especially because I think these wickets are going to be very tacky. It's going to be so hard to score boundaries in this tournament, unless if you are a power hitter.
Dinesha said
yeah.
Dinesha said the boundaries are slow, so we're gonna have to expect a lot of running between the wickets, definitely.
Yeah, fitness in that humidity. That's the thing. But so excited for them. Tim, look, if you're watching us now on YouTube and you've liked this conversation, just like and subscribe, and then you'll be notified when we go live. And I think, yeah, please do follow us on Twitter, Facebook, as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're growing a lovely community. Everything's trending up. And finally, please don't forget to buy some coffee. But that's who we are. We have a Monday show, and we'll see you on Monday. And then we have other shows where we have interviews with different people around cricket. And if you also want to be interviewed by us, let us know. That'd be good too, because we have a really great track record of winners. And you'll see at the end of the month when Dinesha comes and with the trophy, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, they speak the truth, And yeah, call Senaran, call Calvarena, anybody. Their dreams are coming true. And if you're not sure, call Saad Avia. He'll tell you about us. Because he had the best year in his purchase after he spoke with us. So I'm not saying we've got something here, but we do have something here too.
But yeah, it happens. Those are all facts. You're just talking facts.
Yeah. Tim, speaking about it, can you get Lutus Pamela please on this podcast? Because I need him to go to Pakistan for me. No, it's fine. We'll be talking about all of that on Monday. We need to find a replacement for Anouk Nokia, and heaven, please, God, Lord, for Rassi van der Dissen, but I think that might be sorted a little bit better. But yeah, we'll talk about that on Monday. Join us on Monday. And yeah, outside of that, thank you, everyone. Thank you to Coach D. And yeah, SN19s, we're behind you. Good luck. Go get them. Outside of that, it's ourselves here at the Full Quarter Podcast. Goodbye and lesale.